What if I told you that the average couple loses over $40,000 in their first 5 years of marriage simply because they made these preventable financial mistakes? You're about to discover the most catastrophic money blunders that newlyweds make, and more importantly, how to avoid becoming another statistic. Marriage changes everything about your financial landscape, and most couples are completely unprepared for this reality. The romantic notion that love conquers all crashes hard against the harsh truth of merged bank accounts, doubled expenses, and financial decisions that can either build your future together or tear it apart. Let's start with the absolute worst mistake newly married couples make: keeping separate financial lives while pretending they're rebuilding one together. Picture this scenario. Sarah earns $60,000 a year and has excellent credit. Mike makes $40,000 and carries some credit card debt. They get married, keep everything separate, and think they're being smart by maintaining their independence. Meanwhile, Mike's debt grows while Sarah builds savings, creating an invisible wedge that will eventually explode into resentment and conflict. This separation seems logical at first, but it creates a dangerous illusion. When one partner struggles financially while the other thrives, it breeds inequality within the marriage itself. You're supposed to be a team, but you're operating like roommates with benefits. The partner with better finances often feels superior, while the struggling partner feels shame and inadequacy. The second devastating mistake is making major purchases without genuine consultation. We're talking about the spouse who decides to buy a new car, take out a personal loan, or even worse, make a down payment on something expensive, while treating their partner like a rubber stamp rather than an equal decision maker. I've seen marriages crumble because one partner bought a $30,000 truck without truly involving their spouse in the decision process. Sure, they mentioned it over dinner, but they had already made up their mind. This behavior signals that you value your individual desires over your collective financial health, and it establishes a dangerous precedent for future decisions. Here's where it gets really destructive: the lifestyle inflation trap that catches almost every newlywed couple. You combine two incomes and suddenly feel wealthy. The math seems simple. If you each made $50,000 separately, together you make $100,000, so you can afford a bigger apartment, nicer cars, better vacations, and more expensive habits. But this logic ignores the reality of shared expenses and financial goals. That bigger apartment costs more in utilities, insurance, and maintenance. Those nicer cars require higher insurance premiums and more expensive repairs. Your individual $50,000 lifestyle doesn't automatically scale to a comfortable $100,000 combined lifestyle, especially when you factor in the goal of building wealth together. The fourth mistake is absolutely brutal: ignoring or hiding debt from your partner. Some people enter marriage carrying student loans, credit card balances, or other financial obligations they haven't fully disclosed. They think they're protecting their partner or avoiding difficult conversations, but they're actually planting financial time bombs in their relationship. Hidden debt doesn't just affect the person who owes it. In many states, marriage creates shared financial responsibility for new debt, and existing debt can impact your combined ability to qualify for mortgages, business loans, or other major financial products. When this hidden debt inevitably surfaces, it destroys trust and forces the other partner to deal with financial consequences they never agreed to accept. Now let's talk about the emergency fund failure that devastates newlywed finances. Single people might get away with minimal emergency savings, but married couples face doubled risk exposure. If either partner loses their job, faces a medical emergency, or encounters unexpected expenses, it affects both of your financial situations immediately. Most newlyweds either maintain inadequate emergency funds or fail to build them at all because they're busy combining households and adjusting to new expenses. This leaves them vulnerable to debt accumulation during their first few years together, setting a pattern of financial stress that can persist throughout their marriage. The sixth mistake involves misaligned financial priorities and goals. One partner dreams of buying a house within 2 years, while the other wants to travel extensively. One prioritizes paying off debt aggressively, while the other prefers investing for retirement. Without explicit alignment on these priorities, couples end up pulling their money in different directions, making progress on nothing while creating ongoing conflict. Perhaps the most relationship-damaging mistake is failing to establish clear financial communication patterns. Money conversations become awkward, infrequent, and emotionally charged because couples never develop healthy frameworks for discussing their financial reality together. This communication breakdown leads to assumptions, misunderstandings, and resentment. One partner assumes they are on track for their goals, while the other feels anxious about their financial trajectory. These unspoken tensions build until they explode into major conflicts that threaten the marriage itself. Here is your action plan to avoid these devastating mistakes. Schedule monthly financial meetings to review your combined situation. Establish shared goals and address concerns before they become major problems. Create a comprehensive budget that accounts for both individual needs and shared objectives. Build an emergency fund that covers 6 months of your combined essential expenses. Most importantly, approach your finances as true partners rather than individuals who happen to share living space. Your financial success or failure affects both of you equally, so treat every money decision as a team decision that deserves mutual respect and consideration. Your financial foundation will determine whether your marriage thrives or merely survives the inevitable challenges ahead. Like and subscribe to this video if you liked it. Leave comments and we will reply back to you.